The biggest advantage of learning in this way is that by the end of this process, you will feel 100% confident in your expertise. Justin here. In this channel, I want to help you start and grow your career in IT into something you love and to create the success that you want. Let's get into it. Becoming a subject matter expert on a topic can seem really overwhelming, but there's really only 3 high-level steps, or maybe you could say 3 phases of becoming an expert. The first thing you need to do is to start by following. Obviously, you already have something you want to learn. Maybe at work you need to learn how to install something or configure something. So what you should do is go find somebody that's already created a guide and some educational material that you can follow. You need somebody that's already done this and can teach you how to do it. Now, while you start doing this for the first time, you are going to run into all sorts of hurdles and dependencies and other things that you need to figure out along the way to doing it. And you're going to want to make note of these. It can take a while to finally figure out how to build something from somebody else's guide, but in the end, you're going to be really happy that you did it. But does this make you a subject matter expert? No, not at all. You might not even realize what you're doing as you go through the guide. Like, do you know what every single command line is, or what the parameters are, or what the configuration is and what it means? Probably not. Could you repeat the entire process just by memory? Not likely. But now that you've done it, and you've followed somebody else's guide, and completed the process of building this new thing, or whatever it is, a server or a network or a configuration or some software or a cloud infrastructure, whatever it is you're building, you've now completed it. And you can move on to phase 2, which is seek to understand. If this is a lab environment, delete the entire lab and just start over. Now when you do it again, all of those hurdles that you were struggling to solve and those dependencies that you were working through the first time are going to be very minor speed bumps on the way to completing it. And the whole process is going to go a lot faster, and you're going to learn a lot as you do it a second time. This is also going to give you the opportunity to understand what you're working on in a deeper way. For example, let's say that you're configuring a server or a switch or something like that, and you get this long command and you don't really know what the tool is, and you're not really sure what all the command line parameters are. Use this as an opportunity to explore this. You need to engage your curiosity here and think, well, what is this command and how do I use it? Or maybe what package is this and what's the package for? Or whatever it is you're working on, there's going to be something you've never seen before, and you need to take the opportunity to be curious about what it is and how it works. Take this mindset throughout the whole process. Continue to learn every single component of what you're building. Break something, fix something, purposefully remove something, and then try to fix it again. Instead of starting from the beginning, start from the middle. There's a lot of different ways to approach this, but the goal here is for you to have a deeper understanding of every step along the way, as well as what that step is really entailing and how to fix something in there if it breaks. Taking the time to fully understand a system or a new technology can take days or weeks or maybe months, but this is the process you need to take to fully wrap your head around what it is, how it works, and what to do when it breaks. Throughout this learning process, you're going to also want to take notes as to what everything is and write it all down. This will help ingrain it a little bit more in your mind. Once you feel that you really understand everything, you're kind of done with phase 2. And it's time to move on to phase 3, which is to teach it to somebody else. There is honestly no better way to become an expert on something than to have to teach it to somebody else. As you go through the process of creating your own guide to show somebody else, you're going to challenge your own knowledge, and this will help you fill in a little bit of gaps that might be left in your expertise. And by the end of this, the fact that you know how to do it soup to nuts, and you've taught another person how to do it, now you can feel confident in your abilities. And make sure that when you create your guide or your documentation on how to do this process, do it again a couple times yourself, because you might find little steps that you missed, or you might find typos. And in technology, the devil is in the details, right? So there's no better way to make sure everything is perfect than to just run through your own guide a couple of times and make sure you cross all your T's and dot all your I's and close all your brackets or whatever it is. This is the process that I've used throughout my entire career to learn any new technology, whether I need to sell it, install it, configure it, or otherwise do some sort of consulting around it. The biggest advantage of learning in this way is that by the end of this process, you will feel 100% confident in your expertise and your knowledge in the topic. You won't be second guessing everything that you know or say or do because you will have done it so many times it will be trivial. Additionally, by doing things this way, you will have gained a lot of other domain knowledge around whatever technology you're working with. And this is going to carry over to anything that you do next in your career because every technology you learn kind of compounds on top of your existing skill set. And you'll find that the more you know, the faster it is to learn new ideas and new concepts. Nothing's going to change unless you take action. So go find a guide on how to do something new, seek to understand, engage your curiosity, and teach somebody else everything else you learned. If you found this useful, please give my video a like. I want more people to find it. And if you're new here, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. I got a new video coming out every Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.